Good morning. I think the season for the fall or the autumn is here. The mornings are getting cold. It's time to put your warm hat on in the woods, but the air is so rejuvenating. That is amazing. But I came here today to do a little bit more in-depth, thorough, more versatile, all-round axe video. In the UK, there's a man called James. He runs, or he is, Skogsvana outdoor company, manufacturer of handcrafted canvas and leatherworks. I've spoken to James over a few years. I have one of his axe masks for my Grand Force small forest axe. I have a leather sheath. I have a belt. I have a few items. So lately James is, or has been developing. He's the kind of guy that he gets lots of ideas. He scribbles them down, makes very nice and beautiful sketches, keeps them in books, thinks about them, takes them back, looks at them. He's thorough, very. So when I asked him half a year ago, or maybe more, he had a new axe. I said, James, what is that? He said, it's mine. But of course it is. But he was, or is still, developing a woodsman axe for bushcraft, for craft tasks, together with Fadir Tools in the Ukraine. I know that company very well. I have designed 2 axes with Fadir Tools, and when I say designed, I mean I get an idea, I scribbled it down on paper, I tell the spokesperson, I think he's called Sergey, I would like this. It would be very cool if it looked a bit like this. That size, that weight. He comes back to me, he says, what about this and that? I tell him what I think, and they make it and they ship it, and I still have both. I'm never gonna part with either. But James's axe is a completely different process. He did the thinking process, he did the sketching, and he had a model sent. Not sure if it's... This is number 3. This is number 3. The first model, more curvy, bit different head shape. Second model, very similar to this. And this was supposed to be the final model. And correct me if I'm wrong, James, and if you see this, I still believe that this is what is going to be the final axe. And if not, the tweaks and twists for the finished product will be so small that from this video to your finished axe, you won't even know. Dimensions, weight, materials, not gonna be covered in full length in this. You can read everything you want. I'll actually do James a favor. This is not something to promote. This is something between friends, something I wanted to do. something I want to do to help Fadir Tools. So nothing to promote. This is my Woodsman Axe that James and Fadir Tools made up. Like I told you, dimensions, materials, I'm not gonna cover it. Very nice length, ash handle, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful grain. If you know Fadir Tools, or you know Woodsman Finest, Maximilian from Austria, he's an outdoor carver and a hunter and a hiker. He does carving axes with Fadir Tools, so the quality of this steel, very, very, very well. I have had many Fadir Tools axes, or previously they were called Svarojic. No chips, no edge problems, no rolls, no nothing, absolutely no nothing. So this would be the same story. 2.5 pounds, 2.2 pounds in the head, leather sheath, ready to go. So what should I do? Before you go nuts, I have to tell you that I live in Denmark. In Denmark we have private owned woodlands. This is one of them. I'm here with permission. I am not allowed to sit down and take down a sick tree if I wanted to. There are some dead standing here that I am allowed to do, but I'm not sure this was intended for felling axes, for felling down trees. It's not a felling axe. It's a bushcraft axe. So I think I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to do something. I'm going to take you with me and let's see what this can do. So, can you guys see me? I believe you can. Question number 1. Is it sharp? Very. That went pretty well. So, pausing for a minute. And I left the tinder materials in the other end of the woods. Well, some other day. And the berries in the woods are still sweet. Okay, so I actually found something to take down. This was dead standing, with permission. Beech, I believe, not sure. It's too light to be oak. Perfectly seasoned. So, a bushcraft axe for bushcraft tasks. It's sharp, limbing is flawless. Taking down a tree that size, not a problem. There's no need to do anything fancy like completing the fell or the falling of the tree. I make a deep cut. I try my best to remove some of the chips, and when I can tell the wood or the tree trunk is moving, push it. I'll give it a push. Either way, I'm standing up, I'm clear when I'm felling the tree, I'm low to the ground, kneeling down. So don't do anything stupid, just nice and easy and safe. And in terms of taking down trees, I haven't even maybe 10 in my entire life. I don't do this often. I push something over or I pick something up off the floor. I don't have property or forest industry work or something like that, but I enjoy axes and it's my hobby. So next step is making the tree into firewood. So, rather than me just doing what I'm doing, I'm taking you through it step by step, chop by chop, and see what it's all about. This is not straight grained, as you can tell. This is twisted and with knots. So bear in mind, but placing the axe in a small natural crack. 1, 2, the axe is embedded. Same here, natural crack, embed the axe. 1, 2. This one is really stupid. This was the end grain with the 2 branches. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to split this. Let's see. Well, something broke. See if I can do this. Well, that's better than nothing. Under the bark, a big knot. That's why I kept striking like that. Well, also a big knot in this, so I'll see if I can take it from the other end. Axe length all the way down. Secure the lock. Something broke. Absolutely no damage to the blade, no nicks on the handle. Job well done. So, not to be completely conclusive, but to do a little bit more than what I used to do. Who is this axe for? Many of you may know the competitor, or not quite the competitor, but the ordinary, solid, well worked, well used Grenfors Brooks small forest axe. This is mine, and have been mine for many years. I think 4 straight years in the woods, doing hobby bushcraft, of course. Nothing production wise, but this has been mine for over 4 years. The handle is hickory and filled with patina. What I've found here is the perfect all-round axe for the outdoors, for bushcraft, for camping, for hiking. The perfect all-round axe that is offered from a large, old Swedish axe production. This is it. Does it have flaws? Yes, a few. Nothing that would bother me. The profile on the head is very thin, so for splitting tasks it cuts very well, but penetration, and before this turns wide, if this wedge shape is not enough to split your wood, someone may find that an issue, not me. A general purpose axe and a general user axe is the axe you carry in your backpack and the axe that you use. So, this, the Woodsman Axe from Skogsvana and Fadir Tools, it's thicker, much thicker. More splitting power, longer cutting edge, handle geometry. You could do feather sticking or camp crafting with both. Would this work better? Yes. And the balance? Just maybe half a centimeter behind the head. In my book, that's perfect. So handle length, material combined with this head and this balance point is absolutely amazing. It's not that much, but that's where my hand goes, and that leaves almost the entire hand on the axe compared to the other one. That's a bit. If you noticed, the handle changed color. I was lighting the fire and my gloves are filled with sap and spit and bacon grease and coal. So I grabbed the handle and it darkened a bit, but it will darken over time anyways. My gloves are filled with nature and the materials that I work with. So it'll take a wonderful patina. Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful axe. Well hung and lungs to keep a secure fit on the head. Small wedge, meaning that the fitmanship was made very well. I would assume. Sometimes you need a bigger wedge because the eye shape is not completely symmetrical. But that's a different story. But for a camp axe, this is an upgrade. This is absolutely an upgrade. There's still another axe. And this is not to mock anybody. This is to add a part of me to the video. This is the thumper. It's an American head, but as you can see, it's very similar to the Grand Force. Very, very similar. Flat pole and lungs. But what this does compared to this is offer power. This is so strong that you would not believe. It's a 3.25 pound head. And a bit longer handle. Almost the same length in cutting edge, but a pound more. James, you did very, very well, brother. Absolutely. At some point, and this is only me hoping, at some point it would be epic to share a campfire with you one day and talk axes. Because you truly know something. Beautiful. Hello again. In terms of crafting, the Woodsman Axe, a small piece of dried up timber, half of the cutting edge, small tabs, half of the cutting edge again, and to form something like this into a tent peg, cut off the back side, Take your saw. And make a small cut. So that when you use a string on the peg, it will catch in here. Shape the bottom. Tent peg. Really sturdy, very fast. So from one piece of split, I can turn this into the same, and I probably could turn this into two. This should have been two, but it split in a funny way, so and the peg is no worse for wear. Just a quick resharpen and it's back. This will carry a tarp, a tie out for a hammock, anything. Pound it in the ground and lash your webbing or your cordage around here. So, to summarize, very well built, handle ergonomics, perfect, cutting edge steel, very, very strong, fits well in my hand. There's nothing more to say. Well done. I want to thank you guys for watching. I have just opened my beer. So I'm gonna leave this because I sound like I'm drunk already. No. I drive here in car. I have to drive back again in my car, so I brought one beer in a can. And I want to spend the last half hour by the fire with that. So I'm gonna leave you here and thank you for watching. Should you by any chance want something like this, feel free. I'll have a link in my description box. Reach out to James or the company with Fadir Tools. I think the way to go is via James at Skogsvana in the UK. I think that's the way to go. And if not, I'll describe it above the link how to do it. Yeah. Take care, boys and girls.